Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarini. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय. रामाचार्य दास ठाकुर की जय. श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्णा
हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन. हरे कृष्णा. वेलकम. हरे कृष्णा एवरीवन.
हरे कृष्णा.
हरे कृष्णा. Okay, let's go to this chapter. Okay, the screen is visible, no?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so I welcome everyone once again to understand Gita in 18 days. So today, chapter 16, Daivasura Sampad Vibhaga Yoga, which is also called as the divine and the demoniac nature. So in yesterday's chapter, we understood like why are we here in this material world? Because of our unlimited desires, we have come here, right? So if we develop divine qualities, we can go up in the banyan tree. The banyan tree, this material world is compared to the reflection of the spiritual world, right? So the perverted image that we have here. So if we develop the divine qualities, we can go up in the tree. And if we develop the demoniac qualities, we come down and we can go down to the lower species we can take birth in the lower species. So in this chapter, Krishna is going to explain about what are the divine qualities and what are the demoniac qualities. So 26 qualities of divine qualities Krishna is going to explain in detail. So let's pay our obeisances to Sri Radha Govind, ISKCON Mangaluru deities, and to Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So if we see the qualities, divine and demoniac, right? So it is in the Satyuga, it was on different planets, like the Varahadev and Hiranyaksha. It used to be in different planets. And when it came to Treta Yuga, it is coming near. It is in a different country, Rama and Ravana, right? Lanka and India. So it was in a different country. And when it came to, this is Treta Yuga, Rama and Ravana. And then in Dwapar Yuga, it came the demonic qualities and the divine qualities is coming very near. It is in the same family of who belong to the Kuru dynasty, the Pandavas and Kauravas. And then in Kali Yuga, we can find these qualities of divine and demonic in the same person, right? The same person has, we all have these qualities, because in some situation we can see that we exhibit these divine qualities, we have that helping nature. And sometimes we become greedy, envious of others, or these demonic qualities I mean, Krishna will explain what are those demonic qualities. So we have so many, so depends on how does this change, because if we are not in Shuddha Guna, right, the Sattva Guna. So if we are in Sattva Guna, mostly it will be more of divine qualities. But since we are a mixture of all the gunas, like it is not possible for us to be in the same guna in the all the time. So sometime usually it is the early in the morning. So usually people are in very Sattva Guna. So and then during the day we'll be in Rajoguna, and during the night we come to Tamoguna, right? So you usually it is in Tamoguna, means the demonic qualities will be more. So every one of us wear a mask. We are not what we look like from outside, right? So everybody has a different is a different person inside. So these are the different yugas, and then Satya Yuga. So this is again the like a revision. Varaha Dev, divine, and demon was Hiranyaksha, different planets. And in Treta Yuga, Rama, Ravana in different country. Dwapar Yuga, Pandavas, Kauravas in same family. And in Kali Yuga, the divine qualities in a same person: humility, helping others, tolerance, and the demonic qualities also is there in the same person: anger, greed, jealousy, lust, etc. So now in the shlokas 1 to 3, Krishna is going to explain in detail the 26 qualities which are called as divine. So let's see. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of Vedas, austerity, simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion for all living entities, freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty, steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, and freedom from envy and from the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belong to godly man endowed with divine nature. So this we'll see a little bit in detail of the qualities. Like a few of them we can go in detail. So fearlessness. So basically these qualities were divided based on the ashrama. Like for the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra, and also based on the if is a Brahmachari, Brahmachari, Gruhastha, Vanaprastha, and Sannyasi. So based on that, like in when in the Vedic age, when a child was 5 years, he was sent to a Gurukul, and they, based on his gunas, right, guna karma, the caste was made. Krishna says, Chaturvanyam Maya Srishtam Guna Karma Vibhagashaha. So he was made into, based on his quality, the Guru would decide if he has a Brahmana qualities, and there are 9 qualities of a Brahmana. You will see in the chapter 18. And there are 7 qualities of a Kshatriya, and 3 qualities of Vaishya, and 1 quality in a Shudra. So based on that, it is done. So here, there are, all these are for everyone, but then few are very prominent for particular ashrama. So especially this fearlessness, this is for a sannyasi, because a sannyasi, he has to live alone, like in a forest. So he is completely dependent on Lord, because it is not easy to live in a forest, right? He has to, I mean, even in the dhyana yoga, right, we saw, like when an ashtanga yogi is performing the dhyana, like he's following all those rules and regulations, he's away from family, and he has to control his mind and senses, and he has to meditate upon Lord. So and sometimes these sannyasis, they have to go from one place to another place, and they have to cross the different places. So that time they need to be fearlessness. If they're fearful, then they cannot progress in spiritual life, right? So then next comes purification of one's existence. So this is also again for a brahmachari. So there are certain rules and regulations for a brahmachari that they have to be maintained, and this is for everyone, like even for a gruhasthas also. So everybody, based on the varnashrama dharma, everyone has the rules, but this is here specifically for a brahmachari. So example is like once is a Chota Haridas. So he was a disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This comes in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu liked him very much. He was a very good kirtan singer, right? So he used to sing very nicely. And even when taking bath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would ask him to sing when he used to take bath in the river. So one day what happens, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was having food, he could feel that he was not, it was disturbing his consciousness, something he was not right. He felt it when eating. And then he asked someone like, who has got the food today? Because as a brahmacharis, they have to go to house and they have to beg, right? So brahmana means patan patan yajan yajan dana parigraha, means patan patan, teaching the Vedas and learning Vedas, and yajan yajan means doing the sacrifices and teaching the sacrifice, and dana parigraha means taking the food, the grains and food in charity, and even whatever is the they have extra, they give it. So he gets, then he says that Chota Haridas had been there. So then when, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a Lord himself, when he meditates, he could understand that this person was seeing a woman with the lusty eyes. So immediately he banned him from his association. And because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so strict, just that he was looking in a lusty eyes, he rejected him as his disciple. And then how much ever he pleaded, he didn't agree. And it was almost like 1 year he was in a separation, and he was from far, because he respected and he loved Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a lot. And he used to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from far, and he was seeing him. And through others, he tried to convince him. But somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never agreed. And finally, one day, he was very sad, and he committed suicide. So he died. So when this news came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said that was good. It is good that he died, because that is just like a paschatap, right? So he had to die because he has done that offense. So this is what is is so strict. It is not easy in a brahmachari life, so that one has to be following all the rules and regulations. And then cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So this is also again for a brahmana, because he has to cultivate a knowledge. And Sukadeva Goswami, he used to go to every householder, because brahmanas, they go so that they can elevate, so that the grosthas also, they can elevate to the spiritual platform. So they give some advices. So he used to go, and he used to only stand for the time until the milking of the cow is done. Only so much time they'll be waiting. So that time the grosthas will hear from them. So this is also for a brahmana. And then charity. Charity is for basically a gruhasthas. So gruhasthas has to give to the other ashramas, because they are only the earning. The other people are not earning. They are not earning. They are in cultivation of knowledge. So gruhasthas have to pay in some this one. Like even in chapter 12, Krishna explains, right? From the first three are connected to Krishna, the Ananya Bhakti, and then Sadhana Bhakti, and Nishkama Karma Yoga. But after that, Sakama Karma Yoga, where the charity starts, because these are all elevation. So slowly how one can come to Ananya Bhakti. So this is a charity is also very much needed. And Rupa Goswami, our Acharya, he has shown like how one can do charity. So in his life, he has shown as an example. He was a great scholar, and also he was a minister. He and his brother Sanatana Goswami, both of them were ministers in Muhammadin's government. And when he left the job, Rupa Goswami, Prabhupada, so he got a boat full of gold coins. So much gold coins he gave the king. And then what did he do? He didn't reject, because if the Mayavadi sannyasis, they would reject everything, because saying that is Maya. But it is not, because we learn from Vaishnava sannyasis, what do we learn? That everything you can use in the service of the Lord. So what did he do? So 50% of it he used in the Krishna conscious work. And then 25% he gave it to his relatives. And 25% he kept it for his self-emergency. So this is charity. And then steady determination. So one has to be really very determined in devotional service, because many times there'll be many challenges for all of us. So it is not easy to stay in devotional service, but you need a strong determination. So this for all. And then self-control. This is again for all, but especially for householder. So householder, just because he's in a married life, it is not allowed for him to engage in the sexual, in the sex. So because it is, Prabhupada says that as per Vedic age, it was only for begetting Krishna conscious children one could have sex. So that was, and because their aim was to be, center was Krishna. So Bhagavatam also states that there are two kind of people. One is Gruhastas and another is Gruhametis. So Gruhastas means for all of them, the center is Krishna. But Gruhamedis, I mean, they're working for satisfying Krishna. But then Gruhamedis means who is working hard for satisfying their own senses. So this is for especially for householder. Then performance of sacrifice. So for Kali Yuga, it is Sankirtan Yajna, and this is for householders because sacrifice only purifies us when we do the Sankirtan Yajna. And study of Vedas, this is for Brahmachari. Celibacy, it's also for everyone, mainly for Vanaprastha. Simplicity, one has to be very simple in his dealings with others. So there should not be in a duplicity, like thinking something or, I mean, in action, words, and in thinking, everything should be simple. And then non-violence. So in non-violence, we have a physical level, mental level, and a spiritual level. So physical level, we know violence, but what is on a mental level? Mental level means also to hurt someone. It's on a mental level. And then spiritual level is like when we stop someone's spiritual growth, or we ourselves, if we are not feeding our soul, that is also called as violence. So that is not doing, that is a non-violence. And then renunciation. So this is for a sannyasi, and tranquility or peace for all. Aversion to fault finding. So for this, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj says that, who is a spiritual master of Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. So when it comes to fault finding, we should always find fault in ourselves, but then we should never see fault in others. So only then we can progress in spiritual life, he says. And then modesty, these are all for the Kshatriya. Modesty, vigor, and forgiveness, fortitude or courage. So these are all qualities for a Kshatriya. So austerity for a Vanaprastha. Truthfulness. Truthfulness means Prabhupada says that one should not distort truth for personal interest. And this is for all. Compassion for all living entities. Daya. And cleanliness is Suchi. Suchi, this is for Vaishyas. So basically, Vaishyas are engaged in business, right? Krishi Goraksha, and they are in a business. So in business, usually there'll be a lot of money involved. So that time he has to be very careful. He should not be bribing, and these things come in business. So that is why that he should be really clean. So that is for Vaishyas. And freedom from covetousness. So desiring others' property. This is like Ravana, who desired for Mother Sita, right? So who belonged to Lord Ram. So this is, one should not be desiring for others' property. So freedom from anger. So anger is a product of passion and lust. And so this is for all. Freedom from envy. This is for all. Freedom from passion for honor. So one should not, because even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trunadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna. So if we have to progress, I mean, if we have to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra sincerely and peacefully, then we should not be expecting honor. Then he says, Trunadapi sunichena, you should be as humble as grass and as tolerant as a tree. So this is for everyone. So now Krishna explains about the demonic qualities. So no belief or faith in God, no belief in the existence of soul. Pride, arrogance, anger, harshness, ignorance, desire to be famous, demanding respect from others, do not follow or believe Shastras. So how this basically this demonic qualities come? Like in Bhagavatam, we see that the timing, there used to be in the Vedic age, there used to be something called Garbhadana Sanskara. So then what would happen? Like the after that only they were allowed to have kids. So now also in ISKCON, what Prabhupada had done, so he used to all his disciples who were like in the Gruhastha-ashrama, like before having kid, they have to chant 50 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So then Prabhupada says that everybody can have a child like a Prahlad Maharaj. So, but many of us, we don't know all this, right? Because nobody told all this to us. So this is the reason. And also we see like in the chapter 2, where Arjuna says that if I kill all the men in the soldiers, then everybody, it will give rise to Varna Sankaras. So Varna Sankaras means the people who don't know, who don't follow this any of the scriptures. So they don't believe in scriptures and they trouble the society. So these are the demonic nature, because they have not got a proper foundation. They don't have exposure to the Vedic knowledge. Because of this, the person becomes so puffed up because of his material knowledge. He rejects the Shastras completely. He does not believe. He thinks he believes more on his own endeavor and not on the Shastras. So these are the qualities of a demonic nature. So here we can see that, here we can see that this elephant is unnecessarily coming and troubling, right? So this is the nature of a demon. So unnecessarily, even if somebody is not done anything, they will come and disturb others. So yeah. So here we can see the two qualities, the divine and demonic. So here you can see that she is compassionate. The lady is compassionate to a beggar, but here he's spoiling the property of the Lord, right? So yeah, they engage in all these demonic acts. So we have a choice whether we have, we have a choice whether we have to develop the demonic qualities or divine, because Krishna now has explained what are the divine qualities. So we have to work on how we can develop on divine qualities. For that, we have to come to the Sattva Guna. Though we have to come above 3 modes, but again, if we have to develop more on divine qualities, then at least we have to come to Sattva Guna. So how do we develop? So can someone, you can also participate. Can you tell how can we come to this Sattva Guna?
Mataji, by chanting.
Yes. So by chanting, what will happen? So chanting is a very
devotional service.
Soul will
yes.
be.
Yes. So practicing devotional service. Yes, we have Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaran, right? So we can practice anything, like even just by hearing about more of the pastimes of the Lord and hearing about the Lord, hearing about the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, this everything purifies us, because hearing is also, So yes, so the Prabhu, focus on Krishna. Yes, by having a strong faith in the words of our Acharya, right, and the Shastras and Krishna, then what happens? Then we will develop, because when we have the faith in them, then we will follow the Shastra. Then we will take what is the instructions given to me in the Bhagavad Gita. So only then we can come to the platform of Sattva Guna, and which is a divine quality. So, and also we need to have a association, right? So when an association, we see that when a rotten apple is given with a good apple, what will happen? In some days, even the nice apple, the good apple also will become rotten, right? So it will get spoiled. But in the same way, when a jasmine flower is put in a waste basket, what will happen? The full basket will smell with fragrance. So that is what association does to us. So when we associate with the saintly people, then what happens? We also develop those. So it is said, right? You are average of the 5 people you associate with. So you just see with whom are you associating every day. That's what we become. So there's also saying, no, like you can we can know you by seeing your friend, something like that. Like if somebody
tell me your friend, I will tell you who you are.
yes. Thank you, bro. Yes, tell me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. So basically, by seeing association, one can see what are the qualities we have, because obviously that will come on us. So associate with not only person, also even the books. We can also, it is also very good to associate with Prabhupada books, because we get a direct association with the pure devotee, right? So it is really good to read Prabhupada books. And this even in the bhakti, this comes in the third one, right? First is Shraddha. So with Shraddha we come to bhakti, and then Shraddha, then comes Sadhu Sangha is the second one. So it is very important. Only after having a sadhu sangha, you can next go to the next levels, which will Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha. Anybody knows what are the 9 stages in devotional service? Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. Do you know? Okay, I will tell. So first is Shraddha, to have faith. And then Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha is an association of devotees. And then Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya means Prabhupada says 2 things. One is to take initiation from a spiritual master is called a Bhajana Kriya. Or the other one is Bhajana Kriya means speaking about the Lord, or to preach, to tell someone, or to teach Hare Krishna, or to do Kirtan, or to read the books of Prabhupada. So this all comes in Bhajana Kriya. So when we do the first 3, what will happen the next stage? And the chanting also, that also come in the Bhajana Kriya. So what will happen in the 4th stage? Anartha Nivritti. So all the anarthas that we have, right? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha, Matsarya, all this will go. Not only that, whatever unwanted desires we have in our heart, so everything started to go. So we come to know what is required for our life, what is more important that we keep, and unnecessary things will go from our life. So these are the stages that happens when somebody takes devotional service seriously. So Anartha Nivritti, then comes Nishta. So that person seriously chants, like once he decides that I'm going to do certain round, okay, 4 rounds, if I've decided, I will not quit. So I will do every day. Or if I decide to do 16 rounds, I'll do every day. So like that. So Nishta, that is. After Nishta, the Asakti. So Ruchi. So you develop Ruchi. When you do continuously, you start getting the taste in devotional service. Then you get Asakti. Asakti is attachment. So anything, even in the bad like that, right? Vishaya Vinivarta. So we see that Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa, how the person get entangled in the sense gratification just by contemplating on sense object. We saw in like 8 stage of fall down of a person. So here also the same thing happens. When you associate with a good thing also, there should be some result, no? So it will come when we associate. So you start getting taste in this. Otherwise, how people stay long, right? So you have a taste in that, Ruchi. And then Asakti, you get attached to Krishna. And you cannot, one day also you cannot like leave without hearing about Bhagavatam, or to read something, or to chant. So this becomes a habit of you. And then Bhava, and then Prema. Love of God is the highest. So this will happen only. So this is a 2nd stage, the association. So how do we choose? So this is a wrong association. If we are in a company of people who are always arguing, right? Or they're also greedy, envious. So we get those qualities. So we have to be very careful with whom we are associating with. So, but then we need to be with pious people, and who are devotees of Lord. It is good if we are in associate with. So choose your association wisely. So always please try to be in association of devotees, because if you go out, most of the 95% of the people are in sense gratification in material world, right? So that competition is there, and we will also forget, because Maya is so strong. Krishna says, no, Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. It's not easy. It is very hard to come out of Maya. So it is very necessary for us to be in association of devotees, so that they keep reminding us that if somebody is advancing in bhakti, then by seeing them, we also feel like, okay, they have come before me, I mean after me, but then she's advancing or he's advancing. Why not I also take it seriously? So that will come only if we are in association. So purification process. So devotional services like chanting, hearing shastras, honoring prasadam, these all will pure us, right? Even while chanting, this is also chanting Cheto Darpana Marjanam. When we chant, the heart will be cleansed by the material desires and lust. It is there from many, many years, right? So if that has to go, the chanting, because the name of the Lord is so powerful, and Krishna and Krishna's name is not different. And then hearing the Shastras, this is also purification. Just by hearing, even the great, even the liberated souls, they also want to hear about Lord. We see like Lord Shiva speaking Bhagavatam to the sages. And then we see Sutta Goswami, who is in Bhagavatam, who is speaking the pastimes of the Lord to the sages of Naimisharanya. They are all already elevated soul, but then they want to hear because this is a purification process. And then honoring prasad. So when we take prasad, when we offer the bhog to Krishna, because Krishna has it, right? So Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Palam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati Tadaham Bhaktyuparutam Ashnami Priyatatmanaha. Ashnami means I accept. So Krishna will accept. So though it looks like us, it is remaining as it is because Krishna is absolute. It is not like in a material platform, it will get over. But then for Krishna, even if we keep, it looks like that, but Krishna will take that. And he has, when the Krishna has tasted, his saliva is there in that. So when we have that prasad, we also get that consciousness. That is why usually in ISKCON, they say you should not have outside. Why? Because that the food carries the consciousness of the person who prepared it. So that is why sometimes you may feel like when you have outside, suddenly maybe it happens to people like when they go out and have, suddenly they catch fight or something, mind is disturbed. Why? Because that whoever is preparing, if his consciousness is not good, so that consciousness will go there. So it's very important when we cook food morning, it is better you play some nice kirtan, right? So then you do morning cooking and all. So it is really good. So it is a purification process. So Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya Nibandhaya Surimata Mashucha Sampadam Daivim Abhijato Asi Pandava. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. So Krishna is giving assurance here to Arjuna that don't worry, you are born with divine qualities. Why is he saying this? Can somebody guess? Why is Krishna saying this to Arjuna? That Arjuna, don't worry, you have a divine qualities. What is the reason?
Because Krishna
He is a
himself is
Krishna
there.
devotee.
Yeah, what is the reason? You remember Arjuna gave some reasons in the chapter 1 and gave up the war. So what was those reasons?
Compassion, indecision,
Yes.
family,
Yes, Sushmita.
family habits, something.
Yeah, family tradition. Yes, Mataji. Yeah. So sin,
No, he
right?
is
The one.
compassion.
Yeah, see, one is the
Compassion.
sin. One was the sin, right? In that. So he gives a reason that it will be sinful if I have to kill my guru and my relatives. So that is why Krishna is assuring, don't worry, because if you kill, you're not going to become a demon, okay? Because you are doing for Krishna. So when for Krishna devotional activities, so Krishna says in devotional activities there is no sin, right? In the chapter 2 we saw that there's no sin when somebody does for Krishna. So, and also it is for a Kshatriya, he has to fight. So if it's not fighting, then it is sinful for a Kshatriya. Because as per his dharma, he has to fight. So from when should we practice the devotional service? So what is the right age? Okay, what is according to you is the right age to start devotional service?
As early as possible or engage.
Yes, as early as possible. No, very good. So this is because even Prahlad Maharaj says, Kaumaram Acharato Pragna means start very early from the childhood, because once we develop our own thoughts and beliefs, it becomes very hard, right? So it is better when we are small, and also for our children also, if it's better we give in a very early age, so that it becomes a habit for them. It becomes a part of life. Otherwise, they will not follow. It is very difficult when they grow up. We cannot make them do it. And Prahlad Maharaj and also Dhruv Maharaj, who all started at 5 years, right? So Prahlad Maharaj was in the womb of his mother. So he started even when he was in the womb of his mother itself. He used to hear Bhagavatam when Narad Muni used to, he used to hear about pastimes of the Lord. And all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So Srila Prabhupada also started at a very early age when he was 5 years. So he did a Rath Yatra, you all know this. And also he had his own deities. When he was 6 years old, his father gave him a Radha Krishna deity, and he used to worship just like what his father used to worship. He used to every day do it. So that is how we see the effect, why Prabhupada became such a great devotee. And it is because from childhood he had that from his father. So what are the 6 qualifications that we are proud of? Wealth, education, beauty, austerity, youth, and good family. So when somebody has this qualification, obviously they become very proud of. Somebody is very wealthy, he'll be very proud, right? And also education also make a person very proud. So these are the 6 things which makes a person very proud. And what will happen because of that? Because of that, he will not take up the spirituality, because he thinks that he has everything in life, and why should he take up the spirituality? So there's a prayer of Kunti Maharani in the Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 8, verse 26. Janmaishwarya Shutab Sri Bhir Edamanamadhapuman Naivarhati Abhihatum Vai Twamakinchana Gocharam. My Lord, your Lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. So this is a prayer. We cannot copy, but it's a prayer of a pure devotee, where she feels that without, if somebody is having a respectable parentage or great opulence, high education, this is not actually a good thing. In material platform, we feel that if this is there, only then we are very happy. But in the spiritual platform, she says that if these are there, then it becomes a blockage for a person to take up Krishna consciousness. Sometimes it can happen because he does not want anything. We saw, like, right, in the Sattva Guna, it is conditioned. Sattva Guna is conditioned because he thinks that he's satisfied already. Everything he has, he's conditioned by the happiness and the satisfaction that he has in life. So when these are there, so the person becomes, he won't be sincere when you approach. That's what she says. Pravrittincha nivrittincha janana vidurashuraha na shaucham napi chacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those who are demonic do not know what is to be done, what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness, not proper behavior, nor truth is found in them. So because they don't follow the scriptures, right? So they are not clean inwardly and outwardly. They don't follow any regulative principles. And usually in today's society, we see that most of the people are like that. So how they cultivate how does one person get into addiction of bad habits? It doesn't happen everything at once, right? So nobody becomes he get into addiction immediately. It all happens with contemplating on something or taking something a little, right? So little they take, and then finally they become addiction. They get addicted to it. Like if you take this alcohol also, right? So it is like a frog. Okay, frog in a boiling water. So if you put in a frog in a boiling water, it immediately jumps out. But if you put a water and put the frog inside and keep it to boil, what will happen? It will start to adjust itself in that environment. So that is what happens when a person thinks that, okay, little, nothing will happen, but then he get used to it. So, and these people are na shaucham, na satyam, teshu vidyate, means there is no truth found in them. So what are the advertisement we see? And the people who come for advertisement also, like all film stars, but people, they adore them, they follow them, they are all like a role models. People see them, but then what do? They give all advertisement of which is not good for health, right? Which is a misleading one. But maybe many times they don't follow, but they, because of money, they endorse that. So these are all not true. There's no truth in that. Asatyam apratishtam te jagat ahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kama haitukam. The demoniacs say that this world is unreal, that there is no foundation, and that there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause and other than lust. So they don't believe that there is a creator behind it. So they think that this world is unreal, and it is, they say all this Ramayana and Mahabharata, everything is a myth. And there's a study in a Royal School of Society of London School, right? Royal Society of London School, where they did a survey, which according to that, the 50% people who go to schools, they lose belief in God because of the books that we read. And the science that which shows that everything has come because of the different theories, the Big Bang theory, and that world has come from an explosion. All these things the person read and he believes that that is the truth. And it says that, and Darwin's theory says that we all come from, we come from, monkeys, right? So, but it is not so. Krishna has already made 84 lakh species, but they don't believe on these things. So the person, when he goes to school, so he lost 50% belief. When he goes to college, 90% is lost. And when he does a graduation, right, the postgraduate, only 1% of people believe in God. And when a person does a doctorate or PhD, it is at very 0.1% like that. This is all because of our material education, which is making the person so puffed up, and he don't believe in Shastras. Etam drishtim avastabhya nastatmano alpabuddhayaha prabhavanti ugra kamanaha Shayaya Jagato Ahitaha. Following such conclusions, the demoniac who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So we see all this terrorists and all. So why they do? Because they don't have knowledge. They don't know that there is something karma. If I do, I'll get in next life. Because they don't know anything, they engage themselves in all these cruel acts. So Prabhupada says, what is the need of creation of atomic bombs? So that, because this and all is for speeding one's death, and also they're killing, unnecessarily killing or torturing other people, right? So this is not right. So these are all demonic qualities. Taking shelter of insatiable lust and absorbed in the conceit of pride and false prestige, the demonic, thus illusioned, are always want to unclean work, attracted by impermanent. So they all want a quick fix. So they're not interested for waiting for a long time. So they want everything immediate. So they are, what is this impermanent? Impermanent is something, the sense gratification, right? And the accumulation of wealth. So more and more they want, and they're never satisfied. So they're not bothered what will be the future. Like, they will not think about it. So immediately they want everything. So this is a nature of a demonic person. The demonic person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him. And my other enemies will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So this is how a person thinks. So only money is everything for him, right? So Hiranyakashipu, what is the meaning of Hiranyakashipu? So Hiranya means gold, and Kashipu means bed, soft bed. So he was always surrounded with, he was a craze of money and women. So this is a typical demonic nature. They only want money. So, and the sense gratification. So Krishna here says, so this person thinks that if I do some charity, then my life is perfect. But Krishna is not approving of this. He calls this as a demonic quality. Not that you do all the wrong things and then do some puja, that sin will go over. No, that won't be like that. So he has to really, once when we surrender, so what Krishna says in chapter 18, Sarva Dharmam Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vaja, Aham Tvam Sarva Papepyu Mokshayishyami Masuja. But you have to all give up everything and then surrender to Lord. Krishna will remove all the sinful reactions. But that does not like the demons who do all the sinful work and then do something in charity and then think that I can be happy. But they're only thinking about that life, but they don't know that there is something life after that. So here we see that Hiranyaksha, right? So he is so much, because they always want to be appreciated or they should be praised by others. So when his son Prahlad Maharaj, he was not doing that. He was immediately he started torturing him, right? Every day he was trying to kill him by different means. So, and then here we see the Kamsa, who also, when he heard the Akashwani that your sister's Devaki's 8th son is going to, you're going to be killed by 8th son of Devaki. So immediately he wanted to kill her. So because they want to live for a long time, here you see, he is my enemy and I have killed him. My enemies also will be get killed. So whoever their enemies are, they want to kill. And he also, being a father, because he was worshipping Vishnu, how he wanted to kill Prahlad. And here we see that Ravana, right? Ravana also, he was desiring for Sita, Mother Sita. So these are the demonic qualities. The demonic, perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down to hell. So we know that all the 8 stages, no? So how a person get attached to the senses and gradually dhyayato vishan punsa sangasteshu upajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho vijayate krodat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bramshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashati. So how a person falls down when he starts contemplating on this one, it's a sense object. So so they want to earn money by illegal ways, and they want to do by personal own endeavor. So they don't believe in karma, no. And even this Ravana, he wanted to go to moon. He wanted to have a staircase for moon so that nobody could catch him. So because they want to live for long and they have their own, but it is not possible unless Prabhupada says, for going to any other planet, you need certain body. So we see that in a sun planet also there is a deity, Vivaswan. But then for that body is required. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodancha samshritaha mammatma paradeheshu pradvishanto abhyasuyakaha. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust, and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in the bodies of others, and blasphemes against the religion. So these people are envious of God and also the scriptures. They don't like it. So they commit violence on others and their body. And here we see, so anybody knows what is this pastime? What is this pastime? Where was this and what is happening? Nobody knows?
No idea, Mataji.
No idea. This is Shishupala. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is Lord Krishna. So this was a Rajasuya Yagna, which was which was done by Yudhishthira Maharaj. So after that, Krishna was made. I mean, everybody agreed that Krishna will be. He was to be given. He was to be worshipped as a Lord of sacrifice. But then he didn't like it. Shishupala was obviously he had all the demonic qualities. He didn't like Krishna from very childhood. And you all know who is Shishupala? What was his in previous life? Do you know Shishupala? It's actually Jaya Vijaya. They are eternal associate of Lord Vishnu in Vaikunta, because they get a curse from 4 Kumaras because they didn't allow them inside. So he was Vishnu asked him, how do you want to take birth? Do you want to take birth as a pious, to become a devotee in 7 life, or you want to be a demon in 3 life and come back to me? So then they say that demon in 3 life, because we want to come back as early as possible to you. So that's how he take. In the first life was Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and then in they come in Ravana and Kumbhakarna, and then Shishupala and Dantavakra. So these are the people. So yeah, so Shishupala, when he was born, the astrologer tell him, he had 4 hands. So astrologer tells his mother that whoever touch him, the person from whom he is going to get killed, when that person touch him, these hands will fall off. So on his first birthday, when Lord Krishna comes and when he touches him, his hands fall off. Then his mother come to know that, okay, he's going to be killed by Krishna. So then she asked the favor that, because she's a mother, right? Anyways, mothers will be they want to save her son. she wanted to protect her son. So she says, you need to forgive him. Then Krishna says, I can forgive him 100 offenses, right? So 100 offenses, after that I will not, if he cross above that, then I'm going to kill him. So he starts blaspheming the Lord there. Everybody wanted to kill, then Krishna stops because he had promised his mother. So then after 100, when he started speaking 101, then Krishna leaves his Sudarshan Chakra and he kills him. So, but this is what happens, the fate of a demon when they don't believe in Shastras and on Lord. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are lowest among men, are cast by me into ocean of material existence, into various demonic species of life. So we know that how a person takes birth. So it is by based on our karma and our desires, Lord Krishna will tell the mother nature that give him certain type of body. So when that person is engaging in such demonic acts, so he will be put forcefully. Krishna says here, I am going to put him in various demonic species of life. Asurim yonim apanna mudha janmani janmani mama prapyaiva kaunteya tato yanti adham gatim. Attaining repeated birth among the species of demonic life, O son of Kunti, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable type of existence. So what we can understand, Krishna is never merciful towards the demons, right? He's very strict. And even in when Arjuna was giving all those reasons, what did Krishna say in chapter 11? So you just you become an instrument and you fight because they are all already killed by me. Krishna has no excuse for the people who are troubling the devotees or to the saintly people. So he is going to, even maybe the devotees may forgive, but Krishna will never forgive. So Krishna here says, I will put them in the among the, so they will become abominable type of the existence. So they such a kind of birth will be given to them by the Lord. Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanam atmanaha kamakrodhastatalobhas tasmadetat trayam trajet. There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane person should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So these 3 things, so we have to be very careful. Krishna says that if you develop lust, greed, and anger, so how does this greed come? This is a next stage of lust. So everything starts with when we attach ourselves to the sense objects. This lust happens, right? More and more you think about something. So if you contemplate something in your mind, right? Okay, you so that becomes very forceful. Like you feel like you want it anyhow. If you're, for example, you're thinking about some, you want to have an ice cream. You're thinking all the time. What will happen? Your mind is always you want to have it at any cost. So that will become like you cannot control. I want it, otherwise I won't be happy. So then that is what happens. So when we engage our mind in sense objects, so the lust when it is lust will become greed. Okay, if lust is not satisfied, it becomes anger. If lust is satisfied, it becomes greedy. Means even you want more. But then when it is not satisfied, it becomes anger. So these 3 things are Krishna says these are a gateway to the hell. So it will lead to degradation of the soul. So lust towards Draupadi, right? So this was lust. It is very bad to think about property of others, like on the women. We should not. So this is the Dushyasana and Duryodhana. So they wanted to insult Draupadi in the assembly of everyone in the Hastinapura, like in the kingdom of Dhritarashtra. And then anger. So because of anger towards Pandava, the Kauravas, they wanted to fight and they didn't wanted to give the kingdom. The greed towards the kingdom of Hastinapur, though it morally and ideally it belonged to the Pandavas, but they didn't wanted to give. right? This is all because of greed. Krishna also goes for a peace talk, and where he asks like just 5 villages you can give to Pandavas, because for a Kshatriya he cannot beg and eat. He need to have a for something to rule he need to have, but they were not ready to give even 5 villages. But then what did happen? Because of this greed, he lost all his 100 sons, no, Dhritarashtra. So that is what Krishna says, that this greed will lead to hell. Etai vimukta kaunteya tamodvare stribhirnaraha acharati atmana shreyas tato yati param gatim. The man who has escaped these 3 gates of hell, lust, anger, and greed, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. So if we have to take this Bhakti Yoga or devotional services seriously, then we have to be free from this lust, anger, and greed. And how does it go? Only by chanting. So by chanting, all the bad qualities will go and we become gradually purified. So why this in Vedic age they introduce this Varnashrama Dharma? That is also for gradual elevation, okay, upliftment towards bhakti or devotion, which leads to the Varnashrama Dharma was focusing for gradual upliftment of person and then towards liberation. So one has to, we have to accept a spiritual master, and through his guidance, because only a guru can guide us, because he has seen the truth, right? Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshantik te gnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Because he has seen the truth, he is able to give us that spiritual knowledge. And with that, we can go to Krishna and go back to Godhead. Yashastra vidim utsrijya vartate kamakarataha taha nasa siddhim avapnoti nasukam na param gatim. But he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. So if we don't believe in Shastras, if we doubt Shastras, then we can never be happy even in this life, nor we can go to spiritual abode. That is why this, because the Shastras are called as Shruti Pramana. So we have to accept it, because Krishna also says Tat Shrunu, means now listen from the right source. So when if somebody is in a body consciousness, he can never be happy, right? So if you don't follow the Shastras, so based on this lust, greed, and anger, then he can never achieve perfection in life, says Prabhupada. So we have to make our mind like it. So by how? Because continuously we are hearing and chanting, then we get that taste in the Shastras. So in Kali Yuga, most of the people, right, here it is called as demons. They don't believe in God and Shastras, but they believe Google God. Yes, Google is really good. Yeah, we get so many information. I mean, every one of us are so much dependent on Google for all information. But then when it comes to the spiritual related, we cannot go some website and take it. Okay, if it is leading to a right website, then fine. I mean, which is coming from a proper sampradaya. Otherwise, there are so many platforms where we get the information about the Vedas, Puranas, and all our scriptures, Mahabharata. And people based on that make their own opinions. So that is very bad, because Google is also, after all, a person, is not a impersonality. There is a person behind it, and there's even that person is of 4 defects. So what are the 4 defects of a conditioned soul? He can also make mistakes, no? So these are the 4 defects of a conditioned soul. So to commit mistake, right? We make mistakes every day. Some or other mistakes we commit. To become illusioned, right? So our eyes makes us get illusion, and then here we have imperfect senses. Our senses are not perfect. So I mean, we can't see something far. I mean, we can't, our eyes are not perfect, and we have that cheating propensity. So with that, even a person, how can we believe on something which is done by a normal person? So Vyasadeva, who is given us all this Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, he is a incarnation, Sakshavesha avatar of the Lord himself, Lord Krishna. So that is why we have to take from a proper source. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam Te Karya Vyavastitau Gnatva Shastra Vidhanoktam Karma Kartum Iharhasi. one should therefore understand what is duty, what is not duty by regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulation, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So this Shastras is said to be like our mother, and Krishna is the father, right? So how do we know about the Lord? Like how do we know who is the father? So you need to go and ask the mother. So it is easy way. So instead of doing all the experiments or doing, right? So so it's an easy way. So similarly, to know the Lord, we have to take shelter of a Shastras and through the Guru. So initiation is also called as a second birth to a disciple. So when initiation is taken, all his old karmas go, and the Guru takes the responsibility to take him back to the God. So that is why people take initiation. So we all have demons inside us, right? Like Kamsa Shishupal. How do we overcome? By chanting. So everything happens because of our thoughts, no? So what is the root cause of our negative thinking or positive thinking? It is our thoughts. So from the thoughts, I mean, in the mind, thoughts becomes the thoughts in mind becomes our words become action, action become habit, habit become a character. So Gigo, like good in, good out, or garbage in and garbage out. So once what happens, there was a professor, and he was speaking to his students, okay, in the college corridor. There he was speaking to many students, and he was speaking to them. He was having a cup of coffee in his hand. And suddenly from somewhere, one student bumped on him, and all the coffee spill over, and it spill over. And then what happened? Then the teacher was very calm, and then he asked the students, so, okay, now tell me, why did the coffee spill? Can somebody tell? So then all the students start saying some different reasons. And they said that maybe because you're standing in the wrong place, corridor is not the place to stand, right? And you're holding cross, or you're not holding properly, something. And some students also said that that was mistake of the boy. He should not be coming running in the corridor. So like that, different view they said. But then the professor, he rejected everything. He told them that it is because the cup was holding the tea, right? Coffee. So he said, because the cup was holding the tea, coffee fell over. If it was holding a tea, then tea would fall over. So or if it had a juice, then the juice would fall over. So what is it trying to say is that, so the reason the mind is impure is because I am keeping engaged myself, I mean, with the thoughts of the bad things. If I'm having in my mind, the thoughts are coming, or associating, my association is like that, obviously my thought will become like that. So but then if my thoughts will be noble, right, then my mind also will be thinking, I mean, can become purified. So why does the mind become impure? Because of the thoughts are not clean. So just like we don't like mess in our house, right? We want everything to be kept clean. So similarly, we are taking care of the external environment. So why are we keeping the internal? We are forgetting the mind. Why are we keeping the hatred, the jealousy, envy, and all this? So we have to keep that away, right? So the main, for the impure mind comes because of the attachment and hatred. So these two are wrong. You should not be neither attached nor you have a hatred towards anything. So even then, where should we have attachment? We should attach our mind to Lord. So Prahlad Maharaj says that Nate vidu swartha gatim Vishnu, means there is no, I mean, it is better to be selfish, because there is no, I mean, to be a devotee of Lord or to worship Vishnu or Krishna is the most highest selfish. We think that I'm doing something favor to a Lord or something by keeping a time for devotional service. It's not that for God we are doing it. It is for our own benefit. We have to take it up because it purifies us. So follow the ABCD of mind control. So A, what is ABCD? Association, books, chant, and diet. So easy to remember. A for association, B for books. So always be in the association of devotees, so that mind will be in control, right? So because in the same time, instead of hearing Gita, you could have also done something sense gratification work. Could have gone for a movie or something, but you're sitting here and listening to Gita, right? So that is what it helps. So our mind will be in control. And then books also help us too, because when we read, and many times when we have doubt, through Prabhupada we get the most of our questions answered in the books. So this Bhagavad Gita is so fresh, or is transcendental. It's not like a material book, like if you're reading some book, again you cannot read that, or if you're reading some novel, again you cannot read, because you know everything. But Bhagavad Gita is not like that. It said that every time you read, you get new realizations, right? Whenever more you advance also, even our His Grace Ramanishra Prabhuji was saying the other day that he has 100 questions in Bhagavad Gita, and he's an associate. I think he's a devotee from almost 30 years. Can you imagine? Like if he has 100 questions, then how much depth is this Bhagavad Gita? That so much is there to learn. Okay. And then chanting also is a purification process. And because when we chant, we are in direct association with Lord. This Hare Krishna mantra is a Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. When we say that, this is a transcendental vibration which is coming from Goloka. So when it is like Krishna is called as Hrishikesha, right? Means control, master of senses and mind. So our mind will get in control when we are chanting about the Lord's name. And then the diet. So have the so the diet should be try to at least one time start giving in your home, at least in the morning. If you're not able to offer all the time, at least start from somewhere. At least starts with fruits, okay? And then have that prasad every day. That's good for you. But to keep away ourselves from all the material miseries, we need this food. So this is an interesting one. If you have a problem in life, okay, if yes, then what can you do? Can you do something about it? So you question yourself, when you have something problem, can you do something about it? Then yes. Then why worry? So basically, when we have problem, we know that there is something I can do. So instead of just procrastinating, we should start taking action on it. So unless we take action, we will not be able to, right? Okay, it's okay. How much ever you fail, it is not a problem. But take action, then there is no worry. And then if you cannot, do you have a problem? Yes. And can you do something? No, you cannot do. So then why worry, right? So when you know that you can't do anything about it, or those things, there's no point in worrying about it. So this is a very simple one to remember. And it's good if we apply, our mind will be very peaceful. So again, do you have problem? No, then why worry? Yeah. So chant Hare Krishna and be happy, right? So Panchakalpatarubhyascha Krupa Sindhubhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Koti Vaishnavanti ki jai. Ramachari Radha Thakur ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining. So any questions on today's chapter, you can ask. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, for level 2, there is no link sent so far.
Yeah, you will get it, Prabhu. I think in another 1 or 2 days you will get. Today we are on day 16, no? I think day 18 they'll post you.
Dragonfly. Mataji, yesterday's video is not posted.
Yesterday's video. Okay, I will ask in the. I will tell the host to share it. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Okay, any questions?
Mataji,
Yes, Mataji. Yeah.
if we offer the prasadam to Lord, when we should take and have it, Mataji?
Yeah.
From
So
Lord?
basically, you have to keep a separate plate, right? So for Krishna separately, and you will place it in that. And even each bowl, you have to put one tulsi leaf. Okay. And then keep in front of Lord. Say that Panchatattva mantra and Hare Krishna mantra. And keep it for 5 minutes. That's all. Keep it for 5 minutes, and then you can take it. You can mix that with the other prasad, so everything becomes prasad. You keep the small quantity, no, and then you just bring it and mix it.
Okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay. So, Hare Krishna. So any other questions in today's chapter? You can either post and comment if you have any questions. You can ask. Yes, Urmila Mataji.
For prasada is necessary.
Mataji, your voice is cracking. It's breaking, Mataji. Can you check your connection?
Separate for prasada.
Mataji, sorry, I can't hear you. Can you post in chat, please? There's a net
I am
connect.
saying, you said no separate plate for Lord to offer
Ha.
prasad.
Yeah.
But is it necessary? Because we in a general household we offer on the same plate we use. We
No,
offer
no,
in
no.
the
No, we should not do like that. We have to keep a separate plate for the Lord.
okay.
We should not do in
Then
what we
we are
eat.
doing wrong.
Yes, yes. We have to keep separate plate. Okay, buy one separate plate with bowl, spoon and glass, everything, right? For milk and water like that. So you can keep.
Okay.
I mean, it need not necessary that you need to have a silver one. Okay, you can buy the steel one also.
Okay.
Yeah, but keep it separate.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay. Any other question?
Mataji, this rule is for people those who offer prasadam every day, or people those who like occasionally offer on some
Which rule?
festivals,
Which rule, Prabhu?
having the separate utensils.
Every day also. Every day also we give Krishna only in that bowl, like, right?
No,
So
no. What I'm
separate.
saying is this rule of having separate utensil for Lord to offer the prasadam. Is
Yeah.
it for every day, or some people don't offer every day? Like so, only on occasional days. I mean, some festival time they offer.
Yes.
So such people also should have the separate utensils.
Yeah, separate. In the sense, we keep a plate for Krishna, no?
Okay.
Because it is said like you have to consider Krishna like a 16-year-old boy, because he is always that is his eternal form. So how much you offer for a 16-year-old boy? So like it is a personal, no? Thinking that Krishna is at my home, I have to offer a 16-year-old boy, then I give so much rice and that everything in the plate arranged, and then we have to keep it to Lord like that.
Okay, so we need to have separate one. Either we are offering every day or not, doesn't matter.
Every day, yes, separate.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Sharmila Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji, is it okay if I chant for 30 minutes only every day without counting 16 rounds? Mataji, basically chanting all the time 24 hours is also okay. It is good because it is always remembering Krishna. But then Prabhupada, our Acharya has given us that we have to do 16 rounds, and also one round we have to do with, every round with mala. The count, 108 is a one mala. So that is given by Acharya. So we have to follow that. So it will have its significance, right? 108, we have to do it. So without counting, you can do any number, but then with count, we have to do 16 rounds, and then we can do. It's not like that will not go waste. Okay, if you take even once also, it is good when we take the Lord's name. But for Kali Yuga, it's like how a medicine is given. Like doctor gives us a medicine that for certain disease, so much prescription is given. You have to take this tablet too, and some antibiotic or different tablets, morning, afternoon, evening, like that. No, now only then that disease will go. So similarly, Prabhupada has given that if we have to protect ourselves from Maya, then 16 round is required per day. So then you will be for that day you are protected. So how will you know that how much you have done? So that is why you need to keep account. Hare Krishna. And in half an hour, I think 8 minutes you will get. Okay, 8 minutes will take 7 to 8 minutes for one round. So yeah, maybe some 5 rounds you'll be able to do in 30 minutes. Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. Okay, any other questions? Okay. Okay, if there are no questions, we can close. So you can all unmute and we can say Hare Krishna mantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. See you. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you.